I always hated annual checkups. Ever since I was little, hospitals triggered the kind of unease most people reserve for malfunctioning airplane engines or snakes in shoes. I'm not squeamish. I've stitched up cuts and pulled out splinters without flinching, but something about sterile lights and the smell of antiseptic unsettles me. When I received the mandatory Galactic Health Registry notice, I groaned. Ever since humanity joined the Interstellar Coalition, every Earth citizen was required to undergo a biocompatibility exam once a year. Cross-species health safety, they called it. A noble idea, sure, but I didn't like being poked by human doctors. The idea of alien ones was a whole new level of discomfort. Still, laws were laws. So there I sat on a floating med chair in the Sol Prime Coalition clinic, kicking my feet like an irritated kid waiting for a vaccine. The clinic itself didn't look too strange. Sleek silver walls, faint hum of atmospheric filters, holographic screens displaying soothing nebulas instead of nature scenes. The receptionist had been human. The waiting patients had mostly been human. I allowed myself to relax. Then she walked in. Tall, easily 7 feet. Skin the color of obsidian, with opalescent freckles that shimmered when she moved. 4 fingers on each hand, long and precise. Eyes a swirling galaxy of violet and blue, with no whites and no pupils. And despite all that, her face was somehow gentle. She wore a nurse's uniform in white and silver, and a badge that displayed her name in both Coalition Standard and English. Nirathel, Xenomedical Specialist. "Good morning, Avery Patel," she said, voice soft, almost melodic. "I will be conducting your annual examination today." I smiled stiffly. Ah, great. I regretted every second of this already. She glided, that's the only word for it, toward a panel near the door. It clicked shut with a soft hiss. Then another deeper click followed, like a bolt sliding home. And blinked. Why did the door lock? Nirathel turned slowly to face me. "For your safety." Somehow, that explanation only made it worse. The checkup becomes something else. First, it was normal. Or as normal as a multi-species medical exam could be. She waved a scanner wand over my body, murmuring softly as symbols flashed across a hovering screen. Cardiovascular function normal. Neural activity nominal. Ah. Elevated cortisol levels. Yeah, I muttered. I have a thing about doctors. I am not a doctor, she corrected gently. I am a caretaker. In my culture, that title carries similar weight, but focuses on healing rather than diagnosing. Healers still hold needles. I asked warily. Her lips curled. Not quite a smile but close. Only when necessary. Then her expression shifted. The colors in her irises darkened, swirling faster. "Curious," she murmured. My stomach tightened. "What?" "Your bio readings are irregular." "Define irregular." She didn't answer at first. She simply lifted her hand, and a holographic double helix shimmered into existence. Human DNA, but highlighted with pulses of violet light. Human genetic structure should not respond to coalition scanner fields this way. My mouth went dry. Did the machine malfunction? No, she whispered. Not malfunction. Reaction. I shifted in the med chair. Look, I promise I'm just a normal guy. Born in New Jersey. I pay taxes, mow my lawn, order too much takeout. Avery, she said softly, leaning closer. Has anyone in your family ever reported unexplained illnesses? Strange dreams? Symptoms of energy sensitivity or temporal disorientation? Temporal what? She reached out, not touching me, but hovering her hand close enough that my skin prickled. There is something dormant inside you. Something waking. This was the part in a movie where the protagonist suddenly manifests glowing superpowers or learns they were adopted from an alien race. Reality, unfortunately, never worked like that. I wasn't special. I was a guy who once sprained his ankle trying to chase a pizza delivery scooter because they forgot my garlic knots. This is ridiculous, I said, trying to laugh. Came out strained. Maybe your machine picked up my panic. Nirathel didn't blink. I wasn't sure her species could. Panic does not cause quantum resonance. Quantum resonance? Oh hell no. She lifted her wrist and tapped a comm device. Nirathel to Med Overseer. I require immediate consultation. Patient exhibiting. The comm crackled, then dissolved into static. Her brows furrowed, the first sign of concern I'd seen. She tried again. More static. Then the lights flickered. The hum of the atmospheric filters changed pitch. Lower, almost growling. The temperature dropped like someone had opened a freezer door. What's happening? I whispered. Nirathel straightened. I do not know. For the first time, I saw fear in her star-filled eyes. The awakening. The room lights dimmed further, shifting to an eerie indigo glow. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. The scanner still floated beside me, its holographic DNA image pulsing wildly with violet energy. A grinding sound echoed from above us, metal straining. The vents rippled, like gravity had briefly forgotten how to work. A ripple traveled across the air like heat haze, but cold. Nirathel clasped her hands together, a gesture that looked suspiciously like prayer. Your physiology is catalyzing a field disturbance, she murmured. I have only seen this once before. When? My voice was barely audible. Before my people joined the coalition, she whispered. When we first encountered them. Chill ran through me. Them who? She shook her head slowly. Ancients. Not gods but close. A seed species. I stared at her. I think you have the wrong guy. No, she said with absolute certainty. The wrong universe, perhaps. But not the wrong individual. Before I could respond, pain lanced through my skull. Bright, searing, electric. I gasped, gripping the armrests as the room blurred. Voices flooded my mind. Alien. Endless. Like echoes from the beginning of time. You are the key. The beacon awakens. The gate remembers. I fell forward, barely catching myself. Nirathel's hand finally touched my shoulder, grounding me. Her skin was surprisingly warm. Breathe. Focus on my voice. Stay in your body. Easy for her to say. She wasn't being psychically. Microwave. Images flashed in my mind. Galaxies forming, stars collapsing, fractal geometries folding into impossible shapes. Alien figures towering like living constellations. And a planet, Earth, suspended in a lattice of shimmering energy threads I'd never seen before. The voices grew louder. Convergence approaches. We return. I jerked upright, gasping. The energy vanished. The lights returned to normal. The hum stabilized. For a moment everything was still. I blinked away tears. What was that? Nirathel studied me as if seeing a weapon disguised as a man. A message. Or a memory. From who? From whatever left its mark on your genetic line. I stared at her, trembling. Are you saying I'm part alien? No, she said softly. Something far older than alien. Choice. The door suddenly hissed and unlocked. A human doctor and 2 security officers rushed in. Their armor bore coalition insignia, but nothing about their posture felt comforting. Nirathel stepped protectively in front of me. Stand down, the doctor ordered. We detected a Class A energetic spike. This patient is under my care, Nirathel replied, every word edged with steel. Protocol requires containment only if. Move aside, the lead officer snapped, raising a containment injector. Reflex kicked in. I scrambled back, nearly falling off the chair. Hey, what are you doing? Nirathel's voice sharpened. He is not a threat. That's not your call, the doctor said coldly. Hybrid anomaly protocol. I told you, she hissed. He is not hybrid. He is. Whatever she was going to say, she was cut off by the officer lunging forward. And then, without warning, the room erupted in violet light. It burst from beneath my skin like I'd swallowed a star. The officers stumbled back, clutching their helmets as their visors flickered. The doctor shielded his eyes. Nirathel didn't move. She watched me, calm in the storm. Energy crackled across the walls. The door sealed again, this time with a metallic slam that shook dust from the ceiling. When the light faded, I could barely breathe. The officers lay unconscious. The doctor knelt, shaking, staring at me like I was the apocalypse. What are you? He whispered. I opened my mouth, but I didn't know how to answer. Nirathel stepped forward and lifted my chin gently so I met her eyes. You have a decision, she said. What decision? To run from what you are, she murmured. Or to learn it. I swallowed hard. And if I choose wrong? There is no wrong, she said. Only unready. Outside the door, alarms blared. Footsteps thundered. They were coming back with more force. Nirathel lifted a small crystalline device. I can get you out. But only if you trust me. I hesitated. 5 minutes ago I was a normal human who hated doctors. Now I was something else. Something older. Something dangerous. But I looked at the unconscious guards, at the fear in the doctor's face. And I knew this wasn't going away. I couldn't pretend I hadn't seen what I saw. Felt what I felt. I trust you, I whispered. Her expression softened. Good. She pressed the crystal to the wall. Space rippled, bending, folding, and a doorway of violet light opened. As the heavy footsteps drew closer, she reached for my hand. Your journey begins today. I took her hand and stepped through. Afterward, the beginning of something vast. The world we entered wasn't a world. It was a corridor between realities, filled with shifting starlight and currents of energy that felt almost alive. My breath caught in wonder and terror. Nirathel walked beside me, unhurried. Your lineage was hidden even from your species, she said quietly. Long ago, a star-born entity visited Earth. It left a seed, a dormant fragment of its essence. A spark waiting for the right moment. Why me? I whispered. Fate is simply probability given shape by time, she replied. Some probabilities are inevitable. Ahead, shapes moved. Other beings, silhouettes of light and shadow, waiting, watching. What happens now? I asked. Now, she said softly, you learn who you were always meant to be. And the universe learns that the ancients did not vanish. They left heirs. I felt the air hum around me, resonating with something deep inside my bones. For the first time I wasn't afraid. For the first time, felt awake. Nirathel squeezed my hand. Welcome to your true life, Avery. I looked back once, the ripple of the hospital door fading, and then forward again. Whatever I was becoming, whoever I was destined to be. My old life was over, and the stars were calling.